Hey guys, what's up? It's Brian. It's been a while since I've been on. I've been really busy doing projects since I moved into my new place, and one of the projects I've been working on was hanging up acoustic foam in my gaming studio. I really didn't like that it sounded like a bathroom inside of here when I was shooting videos. So if you'd like to see some of the tips and tricks I figured out, pay attention because this is the next installment of Chanley Style. So I bought 96 square feet of foam and it arrived in a tiny box about the size of 2 shoe boxes. After clearing all the stuff out of my gaming studio, I started my prep work by hanging cardboard on the walls using nails, screws, brads, and staples. I then followed up by hanging my swivel arm onto the cardboard. I then covered my shelf in plastic to protect it. There's actually 2 reasons why I decided to hang cardboard on the walls. One was the walls are actually covered in this really glossy kind of bumpy paint, and I wasn't sure if the tiles would stick to it properly. So we used the cardboard to give it a nice flat surface to stick to. Secondly, it's cleanup in the future. I'm renting right now, and I figured having to scrape foam off the walls before I moved out would be a pain in the ass. So all I have to do is rip down cardboard, and hopefully I can actually package this up and move it to the next place with me safely, if all goes according to plan. I was about halfway into my project when I realized I need more stuff. The stuff you are going to need are going to be booties to cover your shoes, a mask to keep the adhesive from sticking to your nose hairs, some better goggles because the ones I were using really weren't that great, a hooded suit because the clothes I was wearing are pretty much ruined, and then vinyl gloves. You'll need to change these often. Also, you need turpentine to help clean up the mess. Once you have all the gear on, you're going to end up looking something like this. My roommates kept calling me Heisenberg. Other things you're probably going to need are 3M Super 77 adhesive, 20-ounce counts, don't spend more than $8. Something else you're probably going to need is better coveralls. The ones I was wearing ripped through in about 20 minutes. Spend the extra $5, it's completely worth it. Planning ahead and following your plan seems simple enough, but I managed to screw it up. During my excitement/rush to hang my tiles, I ended up going too far in this direction, and I ran out of tiles when I did the ceiling. If you see, I had to buy more gray tiles just to finish the project. So, like I said, just make a plan, follow your plan. It's not that hard, but sometimes there's hiccups. Mounting tips. I actually have a lot of mounting tips and all of them are equally important. First, I would recommend highly to use rubber gloves because while you're spraying and mounting the tiles, you're going to get adhesive all over your hands, and when you get the adhesive on your fingertips and you handle the tiles, the adhesive is going to transfer to the tiles and they're not going to look as nice. So if you have rubber gloves, you can change them, or latex gloves, change them regularly and you don't have to worry about the mess. I started off by hanging corner tiles top to bottom and center out. I highly recommend them, they're cheap and they're worth it. If you plan on hanging tiles on the ceiling like I have, I would recommend doing the ceiling first. I did the ceiling last. I ended up with a lot of adhesive on the remaining tiles on both walls. It doesn't look nice, it actually looks like they're dusty. Make sure to alternate how you mount the tiles. It helps disperse the echo, just like the wall in the background. While you're mounting the tiles, make sure to spray in a box-shaped pattern slightly larger than the tile itself. The surface will start to turn white and look like spackle. Make sure to mount the blocks one at a time and press firmly in the valleys and all over the tile. Don't worry, you won't hurt them. You need to press hard enough or they won't stick. Another thing you can use is a small piece of cardboard to help control your overspray and cut back on the amount that you have to clean up. If you don't press hard enough, if you give the adhesive too much time to dry, or if you try to hang more than one block at a time, a wall that looks like this will end up looking like this the next day. It's a waste of time, a waste of money, and a waste of resources. No matter how hard you try, no matter how careful you are, there will always be some form of cleanup. Because when I was done, everything pretty much looked like this. I highly recommend covering everything that isn't in the way with plastic so that way you don't have to clean it up or move it. While the spray can instructions say you need turpentine to clean it, I would recommend not doing that because your whole house will smell like a pine tree orgy for days. Trust me, the first time I did clean up, I used turpentine. But like you saw, my tiles fell down, so I ended up having to go back in and do it again. And the second time up, what I used was this Lysol multi-surface cleaner. Boom. Just dilute that with a little bit of warm water. I used a Swiffer and some paper towels. I even used the paper towel with the solution and wiped off this poster, and everything came out just fine. I would definitely recommend that over using turpentine. The only thing you're really going to want the turpentine for is to clean up the adhesive spray can once you're done. You have to soak the nozzle and do all kinds of stuff. There's instructions on it. That's about the only instructions I would follow on the spray can. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my gaming studio project. If there's anything else I could do differently, I would say it's probably get different goggles. The ones I had kept fogging up and I had to, wipe them and stop all the time because I couldn't see. Other than that, it was a really great project, and I hope what I did and hope what I showed you helped you out really well if you decide to do that for yourself. If you liked what you saw, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. You'd be surprised how much your comments actually mean to me, probably more than they actually should. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Until next time, this is Chanley Style.